there's been some really, really, really good, fantastic news. Well, that's more notifications. Anyways, there's a Devil May Cry anime in the works. Yes, a Devil May Cry anime. No, it's not like the older Devil May Cry anime. It's its own entity itself that's going to come out that's not a part of the old Devil May Cry anime at all. The reason why I'm so excited about the new Devil May Cry anime is because it's being produced and made by the people who made the Castlevania anime on Netflix.
3 letters.
Okay.
D M C. Devil May Cry. I've acquired these rights myself so that the jabronis in Hollywood can't f this one up too.
This is...
Thank God. This means that it's going to be highly detailed. It's going to have good character designs, good animation, good voice acting. Just overall, everything will be good about it. Like, it'll be high production, very few amount of episodes, I would say. I would say 8 max per season. The Netflix Castlevania writers have a really good track record when it comes to, you know, their stuff, because they know what they're doing. Like, one of my only things that I'm scared of when it comes to Castlevania, it had a very limited story. You know, hey, we kill Dracula. That's our objective. There you go. And now with Season 1 and Season 2, they completed that objective. They killed Dracula. Yes, Dracula does come back over and over again throughout time and whatnot. That's how you have multiple Castlevania games, and that's how you have several Belmonts. But with this Devil May Cry, they set up a thing for Season 3 and whatnot. Which I like, and it's really cool. But with Devil May Cry, it's a whole different ball game in terms of story and development. You can start from Devil May Cry 3 and literally work your way up. Devil May Cry 3 was literally the start of the entire collage of the Devil May Cry franchise. It was basically the first, supposed to be the first video game technically, but that's not what they did. They kind of made it random. 2 was like the second to last, and 2 was right next to number 4, and 5 is the newest one, and it's just a bunch of collage of just random crap. But in terms of story and video game timelines. But if they started with Devil May Cry 3 first, they can go from when Dante. They can start with the whole Dante, and his mom and Virgil, his mom dying, and then they can progress throughout the show. Not him staying a kid. That's maybe like as like a backstory thing, and then they can progress from there and showing the duality between Dante and Virgil. The brothers and whatnot, and how Dante in Devil May Cry 3 finally unlocked his devil trigger and all the other jazz. I want to see that. In Devil May Cry 3, there's a lot of story and there's a lot of things to be had. Also, they could literally end up in Devil May Cry 5. They can make the Devil May Cry 5 anime as well on maybe like Season 8, Season 9 or something. Like, they could keep going with the show because it has a lot of story and a lot of lore. And with the Castlevania people, they know what they're doing in terms of video games and lore. It even got to the point where, with the attention to detail in video game items and descriptions, they put those items in the game, either as weapons or random background things you probably didn't notice within like the first watch of the show. Like, I watched several Easter egg videos of the game, and there were so many things. And also, I on my second watch, I noticed a lot of the things that were in the game. It was freaking fantastic. They could also do that with Devil May Cry. It wasn't just with the items, it was with the enemies as well. The type of enemies that they had in the the Castlevania anime was very intricate and very detailed. Now, with me personally, I really, really, really want them to do exactly what they did with Castlevania. They can probably make their kind of version of it, but also keep it the same in terms of story, but like they could change very subtle things, kind of like what they did with the recent Devil May Cry 5 video game. They, like, one of the people who worked for Dante for a really long time, they recently changed the character design of him compared to like the manga and the anime that came out a long time ago in the past. They completely changed the character. It has no impact on the story whatsoever, but they just changed it for changing things. Yeah, I guess something new. I don't know, but I hope they do something like that rather than changing it completely. Like with they even changed some characters in the Castlevania show as well. The anime, but it had nothing to do with like the actual overall story of the game. So it was okay. Nothing really changed. With Dante, he's basically somewhat of a loner throughout the game, but he's always had a thick partner along with him. Like, Trish lady, the lady with the red hair, I forgot her name. And, you have some male partners as well, like Nero in the Devil May Cry 5. And that other crow guy that's probably his child, might not be his child, probably a clone of something, whatever he is. But overall, he's always had some type of companion with him. Not directly helping him fight, but I guess most of the time, they're just following him around. Like, or either they're going ahead, or either they get captured, or they're the very small part of the actual story. Personally, I hope they're not just fan service. I hope they're actually there to help Dante and to help progress the story. Because imagine if we were just only following Dante, that would honestly get kind of boring after a while. We need some type of story or character dynamics, kind of like how Trevor and Alucard, they had like a Sasuke Naruto relationship.
He shouldn't die. Yes, fuck you.
Honestly, there's not really a lot of characters that are like that towards Dante. I would say the only one that was kind of like that towards Dante is Trish and Lady. When they first met him, they were very snarky, sarcastic, and whatnot, but over time they grew to actually like Dante, and that's why they joined him later on in his Devil May Cry shop, and they became friends and whatnot. But like I'm just like, we know for a fact it's going to have good animation, but when it comes to the story, it's very fleshed out. There's a lot of stuff to it. What are they going to do? Where's the storyline going to be? Well, where's the timeline going to be? There's so many questions, but no answers. And since they're out here making video game-based anime series, Castlevania, I mean, the Castlevania creators and now the Castlevania Netflix creators and the Castlevania Devil May Cry creators.
Devil May Cry will join Castlevania in what we're now calling the bootleg multiverse.
Since now they're out here making, Netflix original anime video games, they can hook your boy up with some Skyrim, maybe some Dark Souls anime, I love fantasy. So far, the two video games that they chose were both fantasy based, ironically. Skyrim, really big intricate story, plus they can go all out with the terms of story and whatnot. And with Dark Souls, it has a lot of lore, but without actually saying it to you, it's mostly just through nuances in the video game itself. They could totally make a fully fleshed out anime for both. But this is about Devil May Cry, and I'm a huge Devil May Cry fan. I've been, playing all the Devil May Cry games since I was younger, and throughout time, I'm busting a nut to Devil May Cry. But not DMC though. Not DMC. Not the remake. No, we forgot about that. They when they unveiled Devil May Cry, they were like, nah, DMC, that's gone. That's gone now. We're just gonna follow and just keep going throughout like the timelines of the games. The one thing I don't like about the Castlevania Netflix anime is that it's very short. There's only like 8 episodes per season, and that's super short. We're used to like 24 episodes and 30 or 1,000 like One Piece. But we know that we're not gonna get 1,000 episodes. Maybe, well, we know for a fact that there's gonna be multiple seasons because there's a lot of stuff to the Devil May Cry lore. Now with the Castlevania anime, it's kind of over with season 1 and season 2 after they actually defeated Dracula, but there's still a lot of story stuff. There's still a lot of lore left over, but at the same time, well, that they had from, you know, the end of season 2, they had a lot of stuff that they could make for season 3. But, you know, hey, Dracula's dead, but he can be resurrected, all that other jazz, yada, yada, yada. We just want a really good Devil May Cry anime. That's it. Overall, it's going to be dope. And yes, speaking of Devil May Cry, I've done this in, what, like 3 videos so far, talking about the video game that I'm currently designing myself. It's basically like Devil May Cry, Berserk, Dark Souls, Skyrim, you know, very, very heavy in dark fantasy and whatnot. Imagine, you know, stuff like maybe like Fire Emblem. I'm a huge fan of Pokemon, so some of those elements will be in this video game, but mostly stuff like the stuff that's like Devil May Cry. If you're a huge Devil May Cry fan, you're gonna like this video game when I finish it and whatnot in the future. Now, if you want to help me make this community game, then join my Patreon. There's a lot of perks. I gotta update this. You and me, Senpai and you, and you know, the Dark Link, and then the world and me. But I have to update it. But basically, some of the perks are you can design your own character. Your name will be in the game. That kind of stuff. That's really dope. Like whatever character you design that's, you know, this dark fantasy related, or you know, if you really want to get your character out there, I can put it in the video game as a fully fleshed animated character, like actually moving around, walking, talking, having an actual like dialogue, that kind of stuff. You know, making the characters, it's not easy. You know, it costs a lot of money, and a lot of the money that I make from YouTube or that I work for, a lot of it goes towards the video game. Well, and then with your Patreon money, it will go towards the video game. Period, just 100%. I had about 3 or 4 patrons helping me, and that's what made I've made a lot of you know, different characters and a lot of different animations so far with their help. But I'm guessing it must have like just destroyed their wallets after a few months. Like I had 3 or 4 patrons at the same time. Now it's at 0, and you know, any help is good help. You know, even if you donate $3, you know, it's okay. It's a little bit of money, and it'll help me a lot. Also, if you could become a patron, you can help me with the story as well. There's a lot of stuff to the story, but it can also be revived and changed and whatnot. You can also add me on Discord, so we can talk about it and whatnot. Video chat, you know, stuff like that. But that's about it when it comes to all the news today. Like, subscribe, and peace. You know, I can't wait to play the new Devil May Cry 5. I can't wait to watch the new Netflix animated Devil May Cry series. I can't wait to finish my game itself. So, like, subscribe, and peace.